I don't love how much I'm hearing the term martial law. I don't love that. Tell you that much. You're hearing it a lot now. Gavin Newsom, governor of California, brought it up. You're hearing it, the press is bringing it up. And when you hear something like that over and over again, it feels like they're doing a soft launch for martial law. You know? It feels like they're just doing a little rollout. See how you react to the idea. You can't do things like that all at once because it inspires widespread panic and chaos. Suspending the Constitution and bringing in the military, that tends to make people a little iffy. So what they do, I think, is they introduce you to the concept little by little. A little shelter in place, a little shutdown. And we start seeing people at public parks, people working out, people doing things, people still gathering together in groups. And the government goes, I don't know if we're going to be able to weather the storm here without the tank. We might need the tank to come in and stop you from gathering in a park. I'm no fan of martial law. I do understand the shelter in place, And when I criticize the conspiracy community for saying that the virus isn't real or the virus is just the flu or the virus is a cover so that the government can arrest Tom Hanks, what I do fully understand and am quite aware of is that when you have a problem like this, like 9/11, which is so big and new, that you are going to have elements of the government and the private sector. You're going to have people, as Rahm Emanuel said, who was the chief of staff for Barack Obama and who is now the mayor of Chicago, or was, I believe he still is, the mayor of Chicago, as he said, never let a crisis go to waste. So there are going to be people that try to take the few remaining rights you have. So you have to be a little vigilant. That doesn't mean you go cough down an old person's throat. Doesn't mean, you ignore what's a clear reality, which is this is a, incredibly dangerous virus. But it means that you're vigilant and you understand that no government has ever emerged from a crisis with less power. Doesn't happen. Doesn't happen. The government now is growing in power. It's going to start to pay you to live, to stay home, to sit in your house. It's going to cut you a check. You don't have, and by the way, I'm for that. People need that. But just let's think about this. Let's zoom out for a little bit. And when we look at this, we go, you are now dependent on the government for everything. For everything. They've taken your ability in the short term to earn a living. And I understand that in the short term. I understand the need to close things, and I've told people to comply with this. But there does come a point where you're going to see, it's kind of like when you bring a car in to a mechanic and the mechanic is less than reputable and, they're like, yeah, it's totaled. We total out the car, You bring it in, because the headlights out and they're like, yeah, it's totaled. You might as well. We're totaling the economy right now, the world economy. I mean, we are totaling the world economy. We are seeing a global depression take root. We are seeing potentially unemployment in the range of 20%. Containment has failed. The reports now out of New York and California, if you have symptoms, do not get tested unless you are in a very high-risk group and you're so sick that you have to go to the hospital. They are saving the tests for healthcare workers, doctors, nurses, first responders, people that are coming in contact with this virus and with sick people all the time. So at that point, when you say testing, we can't test anybody. The containment model, which is based on knowing who has this and who doesn't, trying to contain it, the social distancing, the shelter in place, all of that, might have some positive effect. Hopefully it does. But a lot of people are skeptical at this point about how much of a positive effect it will have. We should still do it. We should still do it for the time being. But I think a lot of people are saying you got to move into mitigation, which is basically the rapid development of antiviral drugs. They're talking about chloroquine or something. I believe that's the name that was used to fight malaria. But I was reading about the side effects on that last night. It could be blindness. And if you take an extra dose, sudden death.
You got it.
Yeah.
Chloroquine.
Yeah. If you take an extra dose of that, goodbye. So I don't know if that's the best idea to give to old people. I imagine that'll be given to them in a hospital. You take that with erythromycin, which is a Z-Pack. If you get bronchitis, you take a Z-Pack. Little erythromycin. Take the 5-day, 2 on the first day, and then boom, 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 boom. And it usually clears bronchitis. So if you take the chloroquine for malaria and the erythromycin, it is beating back the virus. I have a friend who's a doctor at Lenox Hill Hospital who said that actually the results are pretty good.